Hey guys, I just want to say this really quick before you guys listen to my commentary about accuracy and consistency. I just want to let you guys know that the audio and the game are going to be out of sync at some parts, and that is because my HD PVR was fucking up, and I was recording it live for my theater, but when I got done finishing it on my computer, my screen was just being stupid and stuff, and so I recorded these two commentaries previously, or the gameplays previously, and so I'm just going to use those two and just render them in here. So if you hear me talking about a certain thing, it's probably not going to be synced up with it. I apologize for it, but just guys, please hang in there with me and just listen to the commentary. Thanks. Peace. What is up, guys? This is EXR8, and today I'm going to be talking about accuracy and consistency. And this pretty much goes with the sniper, obviously. This goes for all Call of Duties, Call of Duty 4, Black Ops 1, NW2, NW3, whatever, so forth. And I just want to get into talking about these two concepts, accuracy and consistency, because they're pretty much, in my opinion, the biggest concepts into sniping. And I'm probably going to be saying my opinion a lot in this commentary because a lot of this is my opinion, but then again, I think I'm a right in ways with my opinions. But I'm just gonna start this gameplay in theater. I think I go 70 and 28 or 69 and 28. That's what she said, but something like that. So let's just start this up. This is gonna be a long commentary because I have another gameplay after this that's like 6 minutes long. So this video is probably gonna be like 17 minutes long or something around there. But I just want to get into deep detail, just talking about accuracy and consistency, because it's something not a lot of people talk about. Obviously I think a lot of people know what they are. They know what accuracy means, know what consistency means, but not a lot of people know, it can't really get into details and actually make it, connected with sniping and obviously Call of Duty. Well, I'm first going to be talking about accuracy. Obviously accuracy means you hitting your shots, how accurate you are. Whether that's not missing at all, that's hitting all your shots, bam, bam, bam. My accuracy with the ballista is like a 53% or something, and then my accuracy with the DSR is like a 57 or 56, something around there. But that's not the point. The point is that you have to be accurate, and you may ask, how do I increase my accuracy? How do I become more accurate? How do I hit my shots? How do I do it? Well, maybe sometime during this commentary, I remember playing this game, but I don't remember everything. So if I see a perfect example, I'll probably slow it down and show you guys and replay it, obviously. But to be accurate, you have to take your time. And I mentioned that in one of my commentaries, that when it's not really choking when it comes to feeding. I mean, I guess you can put it as choking. But when I see a lot of guys on my screen, what I tend to do is I tend to rush my shots. So if I see 4 guys coming at me at once, I try to hit bam, 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 too fast for myself, and I can't. Obviously, I don't take my time into doing that. I try to hit all of them as fast as possible without actually scoping in and taking my time. And that's something I personally need to work on, and maybe other people are the same way. I don't know how. I don't know what you guys need to work on for yourselves or something like that. Whether that's, like I said, taking more time on shooting, or you just need, just practice. And, I'm not gonna name names. I don't want to embarrass anybody. But back in NW3, I talked to a lot of my closest friends just about accuracy and consistency. And it's not necessarily them not knowing how to snipe. It's just they wanted to know how to make your shot better and how to practice that. It's not something snipers should be ashamed of asking other snipers, whether they're better than you or not. You're all snipers. You may look at this video and laugh and say, wow, he's talking about accuracy and consistency. I already know that. Or, oh, I already knew that coming into this video. I do that anyways. I know that. But to the people who want to learn how to snipe, and to the people who want to improve themselves better, this is what the video is for. I'm not trying to be a hotshot here and tell you exactly everything you need to do to be way better, and you're gonna be like a new phase or going to be an optic. This is not what this video is for. This video is for is to hopefully I can help you improve yourself, or you going into a game with a sniper, and maybe hopefully the things I tell you can help you maybe get a feed or get a trick shot or something down for yourself. And it's nothing else Nothing. This video isn't for anything else other than, you know, helping yourselves, and, you know, that's pretty much what I'm trying to get at. But back to the point, accuracy. Accuracy pretty much means, like I already said it, but you know, it pretty much means you hitting your shots. Taking time with the shot is probably the most thing that you probably need to focus on when you're coming down to accuracy. You can't. I've heard people tell me all the time that when they snipe, but this is more of MW3 and MW2. People used to tell me that they try to black scope all the time. And the thing with black scoping, that pretty much originated from sniping. It was a way to kill a lot of people at a fast period of time. You know, if there's a lot of guys coming at you, you would black scope. And pretty much what black scoping means, you're not scoping all the way in, but you're scoping about halfway through. And you would use that to kill a lot of guys and to get your shot off. But I personally never liked black scoping, and the reason is because you're not scoping fully in. Some people are actually good at it, and I give props to the people that are good at that. I mean, that takes, I don't know what it takes skill in my opinion. Yeah, then it's just whatever. I mean, I don't try to black scope at all. I just try to snipe. Is pretty much what I do. But black scoping, if you try to black scope, I recommend you not try to black scope. I just really wish you would actually take your time sniping and to scope in and to find the guy. That's pretty much what I tell my friends. You know, they say, how do you be accurate? What do you do to be that? Is when you're scoping in, find the guy first. You find him in your scope, and then you just take him out. If I can find an example. All right, let me just go back here, right here. This guy's coming around the corner, okay? And right here, I could have either black scoped him, and I could have done something really random. And this is another thing I'm gonna get into too, guys. For me, I like to quick scope and to drag my shots to the left. I'm not sure how or what you guys like to do, but I personally like dragging my scope to the left. I mean, I could drag right, but I personally believe for myself it's better to drag left. And that's obviously because I'm a right-handed player, and all I have to do is jerk the controller to the left rather than pulling it to the right, if that makes sense. So as of right here, I think I drag it to the left. We can go slow motion right here. And I drag it to the left, and you know, I find the guy. Obviously I didn't really hit him, but I drag it to him. It's not like I just shot randomly, or just, you know, you find the player here, you scope in, you find him, and just drag the, you know, closest possible to him, obviously, as you can. And a lot of people will tell you you need to pinpoint your shots, and I will go with that only to a certain point. Because you can't pinpoint every single shot you do, and it would help a lot if you could. If your sensitivity was fast enough, you can, you know, obviously move your aim and get pinpoint on them, and all you have to do is scope in. But not all of your shots are going to be like that. So pretty much drag scoping comes with sniping, and whether you like it or not, it comes with sniping. But back to the accuracy, like I said, you just need to take time to the shots. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. You need to relax. That's another thing as a sniper too. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I mean, a lot of my closest friends and me, I pretty much rage when I start missing shots, or I get screwed over a feed or something. I start raging, and sometimes it's because of my fault, and sometimes it's because of a stupid reason. You know, I'm not gonna say it wasn't my fault. Either if I choked or I completely missed, I still rage at myself for missing. But you need to be calm and actually relax. As dumb as that sounds, you need to actually just focus and just play the game. I mean, some people try too hard to snipe, and they start actually doing worse than what they actually were. So, like I said, you just need to relax, put some music on. You know, maybe you have to have your mic in to be relaxed. Maybe you have to have it unplugged. I don't know. You just need to find comfortability by playing. Whether that's you sitting straight up, you laying down on your back, or I don't even know, laying on your stomach. Find what's best comfortable for you and just play the game. I mean, that can pretty much go with anything other than sniping too. You can just be comfortable playing the game, first of all. I mean, that's probably the most important. Just be comfortable. So that's pretty much what the final say is with accuracy, that you just need to take your time and scope in and find the guy. Even myself today, like this for example, I see all these guys coming at me. I don't know which one to go for, and then, you know, it happens to me all the time. It's just something you need to practice, you know. Personally, for me, I'm not gonna sit here and call you a hard scoper if you sit there and aim down your scope for more than 2 seconds. I mean, that's stupid. I'm sniping. You know, if that's me hard scoping or if that's me quick scoping, I'm sniping either way it goes. That's what I do. I snipe. I'm not gonna sit here and say I quick scope every single shot possible. You know, if I have to hard scope at points, I'm gonna hard scope. If I have to quick scope, obviously I'm gonna quick scope. I'm not gonna sit here try to quick scope a guy 500,000 yards away from my screen, and rather than just a hard scope and get the kill. You know, do what you do to get a kill. And see right here, for example, I'm trying to rush my shots because all these guys are coming out, and I'm not taking my time. The more time you take with your shooting your shots, the more accurate you should be. And I mean that's just pretty much that. You have to just line up your shot, wait for him to come on your aim, and just, you know, it just takes practice. That, like I said, not everybody is going to be hitting their shots every single time. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I have the perfect advice for you to get better at sniping, or, you know, what I'm saying now is going to make you the best player in the world. That's not what I'm saying at all. I just want to help people, those people who are looking forward to get better with sniping. And even if you think this video is pointless and you're watching it and probably just laughing, I honestly don't really care. It's for those people who need the help. And, you know, everybody can need help in something. So if you found this video helpful, you know, please like it or something. But so that's pretty much accuracy right there. Take your time with your shots, scope in, find the guy, kill him. That's pretty much what you need to tell yourself. When you scope in, you see 3 guys on your screen, find which one you think is that you should kill first. Find him, kill him, scope back in, and kill the next 2 guys as fast as you can. Not as fast as you can, but as fast as you can, but as accurate as you can, if that makes sense. So it's kind of hard to explain, but you know, you want to do it fast, but you want to do it accurately. You don't want to do it too fast. Like that, for example, I could have just hard scoped that kid, but I tried to quick scope him, and I completely missed. So in the second half of this, you know, accuracy consistency tips is obviously consistency. And what consistency means is doing the exact same thing over and over. You have to be consistent. And for the newer snipers out there, you're probably not comfortable. This goes with anything. You know, I'm just gonna use basketball as for an example because this is my favorite sport, and I think it'd probably be a good example. When you're playing basketball, if you're a basketball player and you're watching this, you should know what I'm talking about. But if you're playing basketball and you see a player, obviously he's made 2 shots in a row, and then he's made a 3rd, then he's made a 4th, then a 5th. That's because he's on fire, and pretty much what that means is that he's feeling the rhythm inside of him. And I made a commentary about this earlier, but I probably wasn't so detailed about it, and I don't know, but you gotta find your rhythm. Is pretty much what I'm saying. You gotta find that rhythm, whether, like I said, it's you sitting straight up, or, you know, your sniper. Maybe you gotta drag to the left more than you drag to the right. You know, I don't know what it is for you that you need to do to find your rhythm. I think it's kind of like, you know, playing basketball, making your shots constantly. You start to get the same touch with sniping. You can't just sit there and use this sensitivity that one day, and then use the next one day, and then use 7, and then go back to 10, and then back to 4. You can't do that. You have to find a certain sensitivity, a certain button layout, whatever that may be, and then you got to use it. You have to find your comfortability with you know, anything, your controller. Just find comfortability with what you're doing and how you're gonna play Xbox. You can't sit there and use different controllers each day. For me personally, I actually forgot to mention this. This is actually probably something that can help a lot of people that are looking to get better with accuracy and consistency, is to use control freaks. And if you don't know what control freaks are, I will link them in the description. But pretty much what they are is they're little, how do I call them? Like, they're like thumbsticks, but they go on your thumbsticks, and it makes the heights of the thumbstick higher. And it's supposed to help make your shots more accurate for farther range, like for medium and long range. That's what the description says. I just use it only on my right thumbstick because that's the thumbstick I use to quickscope with, and I don't need it for my left because I don't need to, you know, use it for moving around. I just use it on my right one, and I think it helps. At first I didn't really think so, but after looking back, I think it helped me in the long run, because when I go play at my dad's house, I don't sometimes bring my controller, or I forget, and I'll have my control freaks, and it feels weird just with the regular thumbstick. And so I think the thumbstick helps me a lot, and I'm so much more comfortable with it than a regular thumbstick. But I'll link those in the description so you guys can buy them. I think it's about $10 somewhere around there. I recommend you get them if you want to actually take sniping to a bigger level for yourself or something. I really recommend you buying them. But back to consistency, you need to, like I said, you need to be consistent. And what I mean by that is you have to, see, these concepts are so hard to explain, but then again, they're probably the two biggest concepts you need for sniping. Like, you have to, this is pretty much what I'm saying, and this goes with, and I can get in huge arguments with people about this, but you can't go into a game and let's say for example, you go into a game and you get a freaking feed. All right, it's clean quad feed, bam, 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 4 guys back to back to back to back. All right, but in that game you go 10 and 57 for your kill death ratio, meaning obviously you got 10 kills and you died 57 times, but you were sniping the entire time and you were still trying to get another feed, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying you got to feed and then stop trying. I'm saying you got a feed and you kept trying to get another one, and you were trying, but you went 10 and 57. Maybe I'm over exaggerating a little bit, but I'm just giving you examples. To me, that's not consistent. You got a feed, maybe your accuracy was good on that, you know, that notes for that 10 seconds, maybe of how long that feed was, but then the rest of the game you're so inconsistent you can't even go positive, is what I'm saying. You know, I'm not saying I go positive every single game, but you have to have some consistency with your sniping. Back in MW3, like I said, I'm not trying to brag or sound conceited or anything like this. I'm just telling you what I did. But in MW3, I probably at least went positive by 20 every single game. Some games I went negative. Alright, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys about that. Some games I went negative by 10, 15. Of course, I had those bad games. But on an average daily basis, I usually went positive by 15, 20, 25 every single game. And that's because I was comfortable with my sensitivity, I was comfortable with the way I was sitting, I was comfortable with my controller, I was comfortable with my control freak, I was comfortable with the attachments and perks I was using, I wasn't constantly changing them, I mean, I was obviously comfortable with my TV, everything was comfortable to me, so everything came naturally when I was actually trying. It wasn't like something, I wasn't like I was changing controllers and not using this or anything like that. And maybe that's something that you guys need to, you know, obviously help yourselves. Maybe you're not using that freaking controller that you need to be using, or something like that. You know, you got to be consistent. You know, just find that rhythm that's inside of you, keep sniping, and it will eventually come to you. You know, it will come to you after practicing all these days and time. It will eventually come, and you'll find that rhythm. Like for me, I can just go into pretty much one warm-up game for about 10 minutes in private match with just bots. That's how I warm up, but I'll probably do a different commentary about that. But I go into a private match for 10 minutes and I warm up. 10 minutes is all I need to warm up my shot. Maybe sometimes it's longer depending on the day if I can feel my shot. But 10 minutes is all I need to get warmed up. That's it. Some people need 5 games, some people need an hour to warm up. And like I said, the more comfortable you are with your shot and the more confident you are in your shot, the better player you'll be. So you can't go into a game and let's say, for example, you're with a lobby with a bunch of snipers. Let's just say, for example, let's just throw some optics in here. Maybe you're in a lobby with Optic Rated or Optic Predator or FaZe Pomade or someone huge, and you're like freaking out because, you know, you're in a lobby with someone known or something like that. You gotta sit there. You gotta tell yourself, all right, I'm just gonna be confident. You know, I'm just gonna snipe. I'm gonna do what I do best, which is snipe. I'm not gonna sit here and be scared or something like that. You know, believe it or not, some people go into games and if they see a lobby with snipers, they start panicking because they're with different snipers or something like that, or they're getting mad and something throws them off. And I totally understand that. There's games where people, you know, red gunners kill me the entire game. You know, there will not be anybody else in the entire game that kills me but that one dude. And there's always that one guy for me in every single game. There's always that one dude that kills me constantly. But like I said, you can't let those little things throw you off. And if you're trying to take sniping to a serious level, if you're trying to get big on YouTube, obviously, like I said, you know, I have almost 200 subs, but you know, this can speak for anybody that has a big YouTube even now. You just have to take your time and relax and just snipe. If you're trying to take sniping to a bigger level for yourself, if you're trying to get big off sniping, you're trying to get big off a montage, you're trying to get big off just gameplay in general, you just need to relax and just take your time with your shots. Like I said, scope in, find the guy, kill him. Like I said, right here, I'm missing my shots right here. I'm scoping in right now, and I just shoot. Okay, well, that's not this one right here. Oh no, I killed this guy right here. This one. My bad. I'm not taking my time. I missed that shot. So I'm trying to kill the guy as fast as I can. I'm not taking my time. And that's something I do that I need to fix for myself. And maybe a lot of people out there too that you need to fix for yourselves. You know, whatever the case may be. You know, that's pretty much it for, you know, accuracy, consistency. I can probably, maybe if you guys like this a lot, if you guys like this commentary a lot, I can probably go into a private match and show you ways and maybe like the way you should maneuver around the map or something like that, and the way you should play a certain map. If you guys like this commentary a lot, then I'll probably will do something like that. I'll probably go into a private match and show you different ways to maybe improve your accuracy rather than just talking about it. But that's the bottom line, guys. I apologize for this 20-minute long commentary, but those who actually listen to this long commentary, I trust you. If you guys actually put these things I said to you into work, it will pay off. I'm not gonna say it may pay off after a month, it may pay off after a year. But if you're trying to take sniping to a bigger level for yourself or anything like that, you just need to accuracy. Scope in, take your time, take your shots, and make your do as fast as possible, but as accurate as possible. If you have 4 guys on your screen, pick 1, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4. Don't panic. Take your time. Take the guys out. And that's it. With consistency, find your rhythm. Maybe you have to go in private match or warm up for 30 minutes to get your shot on. And you guys all should know that whoever watches this as a sniper, you know if your shot's on or off. If it's off, go back to private match. Practice with bots. Get your shot on. Get that comfortable feeling. If you dragging your shots to the left constantly, maybe dragging to the right, dragging both. Maybe you can do both better than, you know, I can drag right or something like that. Whatever the case may be, find what you're comfortable with. Find the best controller. Find your best seat. You know, find your best, you know, TV, whatever it is, and just find the best comfortability you are when you're playing Call of Duty. And if you're trying to get better with sniping, I'm telling you, the things I told you right now, it would pay off in the end. So thank you for guys listening. If you want me to go into a private match and actually show you some tips and ways to actually increase your sniping ability, please let me know. Like this video a lot, and I will do it as soon as possible. But thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this video, please like it, and thank you so much. This has been EXR8.